Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and welcome back to this next video. And in this video, I want to focus on the differences between the genotype and the phenotype. Have you ever wondered that the birds, these similar birds, they are similar in every context, for example, but they are having different colors. So why is that so? If you talk about the human beings, we can have brown eyes, we can have blue eyes, and many other colors of the eye. If you talk about the plant, for example, the pea plant, you can see the round seeds and you can see the wrinkled seeds. So, how the concept of the genotype and the phenotype is going to explain this. If you talk about the genotype, so the genotype is the genetic makeup of an organism, specifically the set of the alleles. I'll touch on the alleles in this particular video, which are actually the gene variants that are present in an organism. For example, like if this is the DNA, so you can see a lot of the alleles for a particular gene that you are going to see in the example to come. When you talk about the phenotype, so the phenotype is the observable trait or characteristics. What that means is that you cannot see the genotype, but you can see the phenotype, because the phenotype is the observable trait or the characteristics. For example, if you look at the seed, it can be round or it can be wrinkled. So how to connect the genotype and the phenotype then? So if you look at the genotype for the round seeds, it can be the capital R and capital R. This is one allele, this is another allele. Is they are the same, you are using the term homozygous for it, and this is a dominant character. Secondly, if you look at this one, you are having one allele in the form of the capital R, another allele in the form of the small r. You are still having a dominant phenotype, but this is heterozygous because the alleles, they are different from each other. So a dominant is a phenotype that can express itself both in the homozygous and in the heterozygous condition. If you talk about the genotype for the wrinkled seed, this is homozygous recessive. What that means that if the pair of the alleles is small r and small r, this is the only case where the wrinkled seed phenotype can express itself, because this is recessive in nature, as we have already seen this particular image. If you look at the genetic level, we are having homologous chromosome. By that I mean we are getting one chromosome from our mother, one chromosome from our father, and there are different versions for a single gene. For example, just for the sake of argument, we say that this is the gene that is responsible for the shape of the seed. So if this come in this heterozygous form, this is the black one. For example, this is the capital R and this one is the small r. So as the capital R is dominant over here, that is going to give you a round seed. Similarly, if this is the capital R, for example, again this is another capital R, you are going to see a round seed. But if you are having a small r over here, you are having a small r over here, you are going to get a wrinkle seed. So three genotypes and two phenotypes. So how the genotype and phenotype, this is the way they are connected to each other. If you look at the example in the human beings, one of the famous example is the widow's peak. For example, if in some individual you are going to see this peak over here that is absent in other individual. So this widow peak that you can see in this particular image of this beautiful lady, she is having a widow peak, and that is a dominant trait. That would mean it is going to express itself in the homozygous as well as in the heterozygous condition. But the straight hairline, that is only going to be expressed in the recessive characteristics. If you can roll your tongue, that means you are having a dominant trait, because this is going to express itself in the homozygous as well as in the heterozygous condition. But you, if cannot roll it, you are having a recessive genotype and hence a non-rolling tongue phenotype.